Well, hello everyone. I'm back again. Today we're going to play some Thrawn DV, doing our normal setup of 10 games live, unedited, and record the result. I am going to discuss a little bit about the PQ that I attended on the weekend. It was a 57-player planetary qualifier in Canberra. I was on Thrawn DV, and as you can see there, I finished in second place to my teammate Thibaut, who was playing Han 2 Blue. So during the tournament, I went undefeated in Swiss. I went the four games to start with were, what did I have? Qui-Gon Red. Then I had a Kylo Ren Tarkentown. They set 5 Kylo. I had a Boba 4 Yellow. And then I had a Kira Green, and that was a 101. So I was able to go 4-0 in Swiss and then ID out, have a nice rest for 5 and 6. And then that's when the pain began, because I had blue-green mirrors in the top 8. So the top 8 itself, as you can see in the list here, was Han 2 Blue, Thrawn Green, which was me, Kazuda Tarkentown, that's Fletch. We had Tristan on Kira Green. We had Chris Pyro on Cad Tarkentown. And we had Beskar Paul over from WA, rocking the Yoda Green Force base. We had Kenny over from New Zealand, and he was on his famed Wedge security complex. And we also had Ollie on Iden Datavolt. Now, that was the top 8. So my side of the bracket was the blue-green control side of things. So when I hit the top 8, I had to play Ollie down here. And then when I won that match, I had to play Tristan again. So I had 2 blue-green mirrors. And I was able to win those 2-1, 2-1. They were both matches where I lost the first game and won the next 2. And when you look at the deck list, and this is the deck list that I was practicing during the week, we played the PQ elimination where I picked 4 decks. Whichever one won more games on Carabas out of the 10-game streak was the deck that I took. And then this was the deck that I picked based on that. Hey Jay Tatum, how you going? Yep, thanks on the congrats there. Yeah, it was a great tournament. 57 players as well, so it was one of the bigger Australian ones. So back to here, I lost the first game because, as you can see here, all my stuff for hard control is in the side. 3 Vigilance, Restock, and Bounty Hunter Crew, all in the sideboard. So I got milled out, I think, both by the Iden and the Kira player in game 1. I was able to come back, and the Iden player was able to put enough damage on, I think, game 2 by just pinging away with little units. And there was a big finish with one of the signature plays of the deck, which was the Timely Devastator. I did massive amounts of damage that along the way. So I only had 1 in the list, but that combined with things like Maul and that was able to do enough damage throughout the game to put enough pressure on these blue-green decks. The little small weenies like the Night Sisters, the Owens, the Infernos, Desperate Commandos, Cold Vents, they were able to be such an annoying distraction to these blue-green villainy decks that I was able to get enough on base and then push through. And then when I had the mills, the Vigilances in my deck, I was able to mill out my opponent, what happened in the top 4 against Tristan, who I beat in Swiss, and then I beat in the final 2-1. In the second game, I was able to mill him out. He had 2 restocks main, and I was able to mill both of those out of his deck. And then the last game, we only had like 15 minutes, and it was a race to see who could have the least amount of damage on their base. I was running Data Vault, he was running 30, and that ended up being the difference between the two. Some timely reinforcement walkers actually saved me right at the end. And then we got to the final, playing against Thibaut. teammate. Being the good teammate that I am, I've already qualified when I won on Yoda, so I conceded to him and let him take the PQ championships. And then that's why I have PQ Finalist with an asterisk on there, because this would have been the first, if I go to deck list here, this is the first Thrawn Data Vault to make the top 8. I think there was a Thrawn ECL and plenty of Thrawn yellows, but this was the first Thrawn Data Vault, which you can see at the top there. And who knows what would have happened if I played the final. It could have been the first Thrawn Data Vault PQ win. So anyway, it was a super fun tournament, and I'm really glad for Tibbo to get his ticket to Galactics next year, which we're all going to have fun. We've got plenty of other people in BDST with points at the moment, so we're just trying to get as many people qualified as we can. So, Liam says, should have made Tibbo sweat a little, play it out, and concede if you were going to win. Yeah, I had 2 blue-green mirrors just before that went 75 minutes each. So I was quite thankful just to finish a little bit earlier. But yeah, I could have beat him 2-0 and then conceded. But no, it's I'm glad it would have been a 50-50 matchup. Maybe, who knows? Who knows would have won? But the thing is with the Australian scene, we don't have sectors, we don't have regionals, so I'm no chance really of getting top 32 in the world to get those paid for flights and that. So for us as a team, we discussed it at the start, and that it's about getting as many people qualified as we can. And I'm just there to be a good teammate at the moment. But it was very surprising to see how well this deck performed over the day. So I had that on the Saturday, and then we had a mini tournament on the Sunday, which I will talk a little bit about. But for now, let's jump into some games and watch me get beat up on Carabast, even though that I did well at the PQ. Hey, all things Fade, how you going? Just talking about the PQ on Saturday. Tibbo's win. You want to see that finals match happen at some point. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if you, I'm old enough to, let's smile again. I'm old enough to remember things like Rocky 2, Rocky 3, and then where he gets Creed back to train him, and at the end, Creed says, look, I'll train you and help you come back against Mr. T or whatever, but I want to ask one favor back, and that is that at the end of it, we go have our final match in private. And yeah, maybe I do that with Tibbo. We go have our final match. All right, let's go there. So yeah, who knows who would have won that final one? But this deck performed really good all day. I did have this matchup against Charles, and that was close, interesting matchup. All Things Fade says, I lost my PQ rather badly, but just won as Bo-Katan on Carabas. That's good. Freeze frame ending and all. Exactly. Yeah, freeze. Yeah, it would have been an interesting match. And that's but yeah, that's the first time I think I've gone 4-0 straight in a tournament and been able to ID the last 2 rounds. I've been able to ID the last round in the past, but never the last 2 rounds. All right, so we have to pass here because we don't want him like triggering Colvanth and then us not being able to trigger back. Let's keep the power here. Entrenched is good in case he does get Kylo and we can't handle it, but we actually have a lot of them in the deck, so let's get rid of that for now. And those blue-green mirrors, this deck, one of the things that's probably underrated with it is, especially when the restock and that come in, is the cycle in the deck. So being able to trigger Colvanth, if I'd already restocked and put cards on the bottom, and then I'm using things like Colvanth, Owen, etc., I can easily go and push the cards that I put on the bottom throughout my deck, and my opponent does not know where they are. We'll take a Take a Night Sister as well. All right, so let's play a Lothwolf. Now, the Lothwolf in here, what was really great on the day was definitely Lothwolf. What also was great was the Spark of Hope. They're the two enablers to get Anakin firing. All right, we got the Cobb Vanth again. So this Spark of Hope. Now, we've already got, we'll already have a blue-white in there, but it's a great ramp regardless. But yeah, I was super surprised how well the deck performed. I had some lucky matchups. Like I didn't really hit space matchups and things like that. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh, he gives me a shield. That's nice of him. We'll hit the Sage and we'll trigger again. We do have the Spark of Hope, or we could power here. All right, the Spark of Hope allows us to bring Thrawn out. Let's do that. Let's Spark of Hope. We want to Spark of Hope the Night Sister Warrior. It doesn't matter. We've got two whites in there now and a black. So Anakin's going to come in pretty nasty next turn. But yeah, if you're after a fun deck, you know, we all know Yoda's quite a fun deck. All right, so let's just claim here and we can... well, we can put 3 on him because Anakin's going to be... I want to save the power for, yeah, something a bit better. One thing we've got to try and keep the life decent on our base. This is probably... we're going to take a little bit of damage, but we do have the walkers coming in. Is Kazuda a good deck? Yeah, Kazuda is a good deck. Fletch hit top 4 with Kazuda. All right, so in that case, we can kill the Long Pike with the Anakin there. Yeah, so if you look at Sweet Competitive, and if you want to look at the Planetary Qualifier in Canberra, and you want to see a good Kazuda Target Town list, you can check out Fletcher's list here. That one should be pretty good. All right, let's deploy Thrawn. One thing I was able to do to Kylo when I played it during the matches was to, a lot of these small units, put enough pressure on Tarkin Town. This is what you need to do to make them deploy Kylo early. You can't just sit back and let them like just save up all the damage, like just wait to have this monster turn. All right, so we can finish off the Long Pike here. So All Things Fade's never seen him played. So yeah, Kazuda was a good deck. You look at, one thing you can do is you can look at Sweet Competitive Hub and you can go to deck lists, and then you can just put Kazuda in here and it'll show you all the Kazuda lists that hit top 8. And like these are all the ones that have hit in tournaments. You know, like there's heaps here. So it is definitely a play deck. Probably don't need Barrage in this matchup. So yeah, it was a fun time. I think I'm on like 135 points now. That let's hit for 4. That I got a finalist as well now. So that's always good. But you know, as I said earlier on, like the chance that we can do top 32 in the world, given we don't have a sectors or regional, is very, very low. And that's why we decided as a team, we're going to focus on getting as many people qualified as possible. So we have the power here. So as long as he doesn't, he's going to have a snapshot, but he's only got 7 mana. He's not going to be able to do too much damage to us. Snapshot's out of aspect for 3. And then, yeah, he's just going to suit all the way up. So we can just power the Kylo there. And then we can just push the rest of the damage. Yeah. All right, so we start off with 1-0. The deck link is in the description if you are interested in checking out Thrawn Data Vault. It is quite a fun deck. Quite a lot of cycling in there. Cobb Vanth is insane. The Night Sister is really good. Even Owen Lars puts in a ton of work on that as well. So we do have the Commando. It is not the best start because they can easily kill it, and then but we do have initiative, which means we could keep them off the force if we take it. And we do have a power as well. Or do we want card draw? Let's keep. Let's see how this one goes. We don't need the Snoke, and we'll put the Timely in the row as well. We'll try and keep him off the force as long as possible. All right, let's play the Commando. So if he plays a 2-4 or something, we can run in double trigger and kill the Artie. Oh, that's Cobb Vanth is really good as well, because that gets us our, and then Maul is a beast in this deck, and you know, so is Avenger. That's one of the hard things with this deck, is sometimes you get a hand like this and you're like, well, that's all gas. I'm going to get them all out because I've got 3 in the deck. I've only got 2 Avengers, and hopefully we can get a Night Sister Warrior with our Cobb Vanth here. We'll trigger again. So that will take out his Artie. And we want to build up as much card advantage as we can against this Anakin. Okay. All right, so we can play the Cobb Vanth here. So we're going to keep him. We've kept him off the force, which is a good start here. So this is nice to play together, but we have to sacrifice one of these cards. And these cards are probably too good. So let's just keep it all on the ground for now. We'll play a Commando. All right, so he's going to pillage us. That's fine. We'll take the Power of the Dark Side and the Avenger. Now he can attack our hand traditionally like a blue-green villain does, but we have a lot of card draw in this deck. Like, do I need no glory if I'm going to Vader? Yeah. Okay. We'll give a unit minus. We'll just give that one -1. We'll pass. We can play the Owen here. We're in no rush. The longer this game goes, the better for us. So if he plays something, we want to hit into it, Cobb Vanth, put out a few units. So the Lothwolf is really good. So let's trigger that. Oh, and nothing on the. That's unfortunate that we got nothing on the second trigger there. All right. We'll take the Night Sister Warrior. So we've been hit with a pillage and a force throw. So maybe our correct mulligan was to go for cards like things like Night Sister Warrior, Owen, that type of things. We're going to draw 2 from the Night Sister Warrior. So let's deploy. Oh, hey, mate. Hey, Vex. Yeah, thank you. Congrats on my win. Yes, who knows? I could have been the first Thrawn player to win a PQ. It was very, very, very close. But yeah, we can Anakin here. A guy played Kira this weekend against Anakin. Surprising Anakin play. That's often the case, is that when you play that the non-control player, it plays a lot slower, is what I've found. Because the control player is used to playing at a certain speed, where the where the non-control player is not. Okay, all right. So we trigger again. We'll double Cobvanth. Not bad. We'll claim. It would have been nice to. Well, rivals coming in clutch for the Anakin there. What we need to hit is something like a Vader, because we do have a timely. We are getting hit big time by pillagers. So that's a double pillage again. And we had Cobb Vance. Cobb Vance would have been really good to play out. All right, so we'll claim again. All right, Reinforcement Walker is good. What's the chance that he has a force throw? Probably high, so let's just draw that for now. Exactly what I was saying. Like, sometimes when they've got the nuts, they got the nut, like 2 pillages and 2 force throws. And that's why we hit the Reinforcement Walker early there. All right, Shatterpoint. All right, we'll claim. Got to try and get some of our card draw or some of our big units. Those are not a big unit. We'll pass. We'll see what he plays. Pass. All right, so if we can get a Vader here, we can catch up. All right, so we hit a Snoke. It's not too bad. Let's play the Snoke and let him trade up a bit into it. All Things Fade says, hate Vader right now. I can deal. Wow, he's had a lot of removal. Hate Vader now. I can deal with Vader spam tokens, but the PQ guy did one big ship. Yeah, it's kind of nasty, the Vader deck, if you don't have an answer for it. Yeah, well, we are not going too well here. I think it might have been a little bit too much pillage and force throw without enough card draw. I think we should have mulliganed for the card draw. We could hit a super laser or something here and try and come back, but yeah. All right, here comes the Cassian. Yeah, that's it. All right, GG. We move to 1-1.
Hello there.
All right, we're back in the Anakin again. So this time, let's try and make sure we hit our card draw. So anything like a Owen, Desperado, Cobb Vance. So let's keep this hand. It seems pretty good. Don't need the Loth Wolf, and let's ditch the Avenger there. We can have the same start as we had last time. Try and keep him off the force. And let's be on the guard for pillages. Okay, so let's keep the power in our hand. Data vaulted, says Ando Commando. All right, so let's double trigger here. All right, let's play the Cobb Vanth. He may force throw. If he does, we can throw out the power of the dark side, trigger, and then put a unit out here. What we have to do is just try to draw as many cards as we can, because we just got hand-hated out of that last game. All right, we'll trigger again. This time we'll play an Owen out. He's probably play a Kiadi-Mundi. Okay. Play another Colvanth. He's going to claim. All right, Spark of Hope is very good because it's an enabler for our Anakin, and it'll also ramp to bring Thrawn out a turn earlier. Okay, I think we can. He's not going to be able to kill Owen this turn. Let's just go to Commando, trigger again. Perfect. We get another Night Sister. So now we can just play Spark of Hope. That'll move us to 6, so we can bring Thrawn out. Let's bring Thrawn out because we need his ability online. We'll take out the Yaddle and move ahead with the Owen. Okay. No glory. We've got plenty of removal. We can keep the power if we can get rid of the Sage and he brings Anakin out. All right, so let's trigger that again to draw. Hit into there. Pass. We are at 7, so we can maul Anakin if he comes out. All right, I think we can just maul the Andor because if Anakin comes out, he's only a 4 attack. Let's do that. All right, it's going to claim initiative here. I don't want to give him any more damage on there. So many Data Vault decks. Okay, so let's look at the Canberra one. Let's look at the top 8. There's 2 Data Vaults out of the top 8 in that deck. All right, so he's going to Luke. So we've got both in there, so we can Anakin and run over the top of his leader. All right, Timely's good. This game's working out a little bit better in our favor compared to the last one. All right, I'm assuming he has a Luke, so I'm going to hit his base first here. Okay, you can have an OB then. Probably should have dropped the Avenger first there. Let's hit his base. All right, let's claim. All right, let's hit his Yaddle. Let's make him deal with the Devastator. Here comes the Luke. All right, let's claim. We can power or we can barrage that Luke. I think we'll just barrage. It freezes up to still have the power. And we do have the Timely this stuff as well. Yeah. Let's hit his base for 12. If he can't deal with this, he has to claim. All right, we will give him. All right, let's take an Anakin's. No, a Vader. We've got the. For Vader, we've got the timely. So if we claim and he can handle it, it's an issue. So let's just play the Night Sister Warrior. Right, let's power away that Kiadi. All right, let's see what he's got here. Yeah, we got him. See, you can see the difference between that match and the match before is that the way he beats blue-green villain is hand hate, but this deck has a lot of resilience against that if you resource and that for it. We got the Cobb Vanth, we got the Owen, we had the Commando to start with, which doesn't draw, but we're able to bring out quite a few more cards there. All right, so now we've got the Luke Data Vault. So this is where we have to be concerned with the Luke flip and less concerned with the state of the ground. So we'll try keeping this one. It's not bad. The issue is that trying to get triggers. Oh, well. Trying to get triggers, no problems. You play the Y-Wing here. We've got a good time in terms of getting triggers down on our units. Hopefully he pilots it or something up first. We can play the Commando, pop that, draw 2 cards, and then try to deal with the Y-Wing. All right, so 3 indirect damage. So we'll go 2 on base, 1 on Owen. Okay, so we can restore back up. Right, he pinged the shield off Krennic. All right, so it looks like a deck that's going to have a lot of tiny weenies and that for us there. All right, so the Commando is good as well. Let's take the Avenger out. Let's see what he's got for us again. We want a double trigger on this Night Sister Warrior? Probably. Let's attack with it first and see if he pings it for the damage. All right, played a grenade strike, so let's search for the top 5. It's a miss. Let's draw again. All right, Anakin. Anakin is good because we can nuke these 2 next turn. Like if we Spark of Hope. Well, we need this to go in the bin, basically. All right, we'll hit his base for 2. So we'll have Thrawn come out. We'll be able to neg 2 units. Nice. And we've also got the Entrench too for the Luke flip. All right, let's hit base first. We'll make sure that Krennic dies, because if he's a smart play, he would not kill the Krennic. Alright, we'll take out both ships with Anakin there. We can flip Thrawn and push Thrawn out as well. And see we've got one heroic and one villainy. This is why I took this card out of the Poe Data Vault decks, because they're able to trigger stuff on the ground. I don't think it's worth playing in any of the pilot decks. Is that coming on the ground or is it staying at the top? Okay, all right, we will deploy Thrawn. We can go and put 4 damage on his base. All right, he's going to air superiority and do 4 damage to one of our units so that he can pile it up with Luke. All right, we've also got a blast, which is really good as a board wipe to reset things. If he pilots up Luke here, we can entrench. He'll need a Fang Fighter to get rid of that. If he has got a Fang Fighter, we can at least blast next turn. All right, another air superiority. All right, we'll hit the base for 5. All right, Chewbacca, that's a problem. All right, so let's play the Night Sister Warrior. All right, let's claim. What we need is our... Well, Power of the Dark Side's not going to work. We need our No Glory here for the blue leader. The Reinforcement Walker was a good pull, though. We do have a Devastator coming online. Oh, I think we just discard that because we're in a race here. Oh, that's an issue. That is an issue. Yeah, it's going to be close now. That disabling Fang Fighter he must have just drawn. And I can't blast because of the Chewbacca. The Chewbacca will basically just stay. All right, that's the Owen. So if we hit with Anakin first, then he has to be able to stop that Reinforcement Walker. Which he can, if he, all he's got to do is get a pump for 2 here. Yeah, hot shot maneuver. So I can put it like that. So it looks like the Reinforcement Walker just saved us there. We don't need to trigger twice. All right. So we got there against the Luke pilot as well. Bit sketchy with that...
Hello there.
That disabling Fang Fighter there right at the end. That's well played by our opponent. Like, lulled us into a false sense of security there, and Nelly took the game. Now the question is which CAD's this? There's a few CADs going around now. So let's keep this hand. It's a pretty good hand. We don't need the wolf. We don't need the Avenger. Now, there's two CADs going around. There's one that, okay, well, he claimed. There's the one with the little the 1-drops and that as well, where it's not even safe to play the Sage. You play the Sage and they immediately just go and they go and play a 1-drop, which takes the ping off, or they can play Criminal Muscle, which drops the shield off it and then hits it for 1, and basically you die. You die because the Tarkin Town does the damage. So is the Walker good here or is a Blast? Let's do the Walker. Let's hit his base there. We'll get some card draw going. Okay, so let's go to Commando this time. I'm assuming he's going to Forlom into us here. And if he does, we're able to at least kill the Forlom. He will get a card draw from the Mist Hunter though, but we'll be able to spark. Alright, so we'll double trigger, kill the Forlom. And then we'll draw a card. Now, our choice here is to either power, or the choice is to Spark of Hope and get us one step closer. I think I'm in favor of Spark of Hope. So how to deal with that. What are we talking about? How to deal with DV decks in general or something else? All right, let's claim. We don't need the Lothwolf now because we have already a villainy card, a heroic card in our resource row. So we could power to get rid of this Mist Hunter and then play a Night Sister Warrior. So let's do that. Here it goes for Bosk. All right, let's play our Night Sister Warrior out. That will give us the double card draw. The Fell is what we need for the Cad Bane unit. How to deal with that Tarkin Town? Well, it's tough as Yoda. Like, Yoda has a really bad win rate into not the normal Cad Tarkin Town, but the 2-1-drop one. I think Bobby Sapphire from K2AD won a PQ with that deck today. So if you're interested to know what is in that deck, you can look at the Newington PQ here, and you can see Bobby won that one, or Mike, and you can check out his list there. Okay, so I think we're on 7, so we can just hit that Bosk. Let's make him deal with that, and then we've also got the Blast next turn. So sorry, we could have brought Thrawn out last turn. I wasn't paying attention on that one. Yeah, so this might be the list with the with those cards in it. Okay, I want him to run in or Tarkin Town the Maul, so let's trigger. We can then deploy the Thrawn. I want him to waste his Tarkin Town on the Maul here. So yes, the second tournament was today, and that tournament was the Garbage Leader tournament that the Onyx Squadron ran, and it was a really fun tournament. Like, okay, I'm going to run into your Cad Bane then for 4. And it was if you're the highest placed with those one of those 7 leaders, you get the showcase for that that leader. I took Von Reg Yellow. I took Crispy's list. All right, another. Okay, I'll claim. I took Crispy's list, which is a red yellow deck, and yeah, it was. I finished at the top for Von Reg. I actually lost the first game. I had a bye second round, and then won the next 2, and my breakers were good enough to be at the top for that one. Okay, so let's hit in a CAD. So who did I play? Yeah, I played the Von Reg. I played Von Reg Yellow, the trash one. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's take Maul on top. 2 sympathizers. Interesting. I think I just claim here. Yep. All right, so what we can do is, do I have a timely? No, I don't have a timely. All right, so let's just blast here. I will take some damage, but let's draw some cards. Let's put both of those on top. They're pretty good. All right, let's claim. We still haven't got a timely. There's 3 timelies in here, which would be quite good. All right, so let's hit the Marauder. Claim. No timelies yet. Remember, this deck doesn't run Vigilance in the main. All right, so he's waylaid. We are still waiting for our Vigilance. Not our Vigilance, our timely. So that's our timely there. So what do we want to play? We want to play it for Vader. Yeah, we can put it in our row. We can timely Vader. Get a board clear that way, and we've still got enough to either play a power or a desperate commando here. Yeah, so I had a mirror in the last round for the Von Reg and that, but it was a lot of fun. I'm just going to claim here because I can double trigger that. So it's 5. We want to leave this for 7. So yeah, okay. All right, we hit him for 4. Vigilance has annoyed me a lot in the trench decks, yeah. There was a lot of trench decks because trench was one of the trash leaders today. So there's quite a few, and there was a guy that took it to the PQ as well. And they were always super long games. All right, so we'll just hit base for 5 here. All right, so we can clear that with the overwhelming barrage. Or we can just overwhelm this gunslinger for 6, and that would take him to, I think we just do that. We'll take him to 21. He has to clear both of those, which I don't think the CAD can do. All right, so let's pass. We'll put the entrenched away. Could have a Devastator, but the Devastator doesn't kill both of them in one go. Right, he waylaid his own unit there. An interesting way to go out. All right, so we moved to 4-1.
Hello there.
All right, Han 2 blue. This would have been the final match for me. So let's pretend to see what this would have been like. Okay, so we have some brutes. We have a super laser tech. I think I prefer draw and trying to get like a Cobb Vanth or something. Well, that didn't exactly work out how we wanted it to. Got a bit greedy on the draw here, so let's pass. Yeah, and we can power. We'll just try and keep him off the force. But yeah, I would have much rathered some units. All right, so we'll power to get rid of the Yaddle. All right, Sage. Okay, well, we can get the tech out. Normally they don't run Cham till the second game. But we are in danger of being like hand-hated here, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's give him the Reinforcement Walker to take the shield off Krennic, and we'll play a tech down. All right, so let's claim. Does he have another force throw? No. Well, we are not doing great on the card draw here. All right, I think I just no glory that. I can run into that and drop Thrawn out. We've got a timely in the row. If we get something like a Cobb Vanth, we can trigger Exorcist Leader. No. We get something like a Cobb Vanth, we can timely it in, which is a bit of a way to catch up. If he has a force throw here, it's on him. On us, it's even worse. Okay, he doesn't. All right, so we'll kill Ki-Adi-Mundi. He'll come in and kill Thrawn. Nope. What do we got in a row? Okay. Probably play a Luke out here. If he plays a Luke, we'll Anakin the Han. Yep. All right, so there's two options here. We could... I think we play the Anakin out because it'll kind of force him to deal with it. And we can always just blast. Oh, well, we are playing a fine game at the moment with, yeah, being hand-hated out here. All right, let's hit the Chirrut. All right, he attacks base. Well, I think we can just blast now to clear it. All right, claim. Then we can Avenger the Night Sister's a good draw. But let's try how much removal he's got. Normally, this is not how I want the game to go. Normally I want my Night Sister Warriors and my Lars and all the other stuff to come out early to give me hand options. My take on tomorrow's ban, mine is at DJ and TDR a bet. No way, no way. If TDR and DJ come back, it's going to be a bad time. Like, all right, force throw. You can have the Night Sister Warrior. All right, let's get rid of the timely. Yeah, I do not want to say. I don't care about TDR really, but yeah, it's either Force Throw or Tarkin Town. Yeah, but I don't think they can remove Tarkin Town and then not hit ECL at the same time as well. All right, so let's just hit the turret. Let's get our units out there. Let him deal with it. The issue is that this Lars could potentially draw a Luke, which will kill the Avenger. It doesn't, thankfully. Yeah, so I think it's Force Throw. Maybe even Han 2 goes. And then, yeah, potentially the bases. Because, to be honest, a lot of people are super tired of losing their first turn play every single time to Tarkin Town. Like, it's been like 5 sets now. And there's decks like totally built around it, and you're trying to get the force, you play a unit out, and you have to, if you don't get the sage or whatever, you just can't get it. So I think Tarkin Town and potentially ECL, if they're going to ban bases. If they're going to target Force Throw, then they may just do Force Throw, and maybe Hunt too, who knows. ECL is safe because timely ambush is also a thing for 1 cost. Yeah, but you got to have the card for the time. You got to have it in your row. I think ECL is just way too strong for what it does. The Poe Wrecker stuff. We've had it for 5 sets now. Like, that's if you're going to ban. If you're going to ban Tarkin Town. So that's my thoughts on it. All right, I think I just claim here. If he has something to deal with the Devastator. No, he doesn't. Yeah. So that game, we just forced him. We had a horror start against his Han 2 blue, and we were still able to win. So that would have been my finals matchup, which would have been interesting. Yeah, most decks that lose turn 1 just get crushed. Exactly. Well, it takes a lot of decks sort of out of the meta, and that because you sort of have to handle the Tarkin Town decks. But yeah, I think there's no way DJ comes back because it was just too oppressive. Like, I'm a person who plays leaders that come out 6+, and it was...
Hello there.
You just had to build your deck to say, okay, I have to have something that deals with tech or whatever. Otherwise, I just lose to a double yellow Han that just keeps rolling on. Okay, let's keep this hand. Now the Palpatine... it's not a great matchup because in the end we have big units. They have things that steal units. So let's see how this matchup goes. We do have more cards than him in terms of he may run out of resources if we just basically keep removing all of his stuff. How is he going to beat us? Okay. In the match 2, we have things like where do we go wide here? I don't even think we need a barrage here. We can go a bit wide. Okay, so you run into here. Don't let him draw a card and that off it. It will trigger. All right, so we can go Chronic and then we can go Brute. So the strategy here is to just go wide, put as much damage on as you can, draw cards so you got options. When he pops Palpatine out, Super Laser Blast, and then do not play any units till he mills out, basically. Second game, you would bring the Vigilances and that in and execute it a bit better than that. Let's get rid of... We've got 2 Vaders. We're fine with that. All right, so we can, again, run into here so that he doesn't get to draw a card. All right, we push damage onto his base. We'll play the Inferno 4. All right, let's put that on bottom. We want the No Glory. I think we need some more removal. We'll play the Owen. Yeah, so TDR is a hot one, Vex. That's a hot take for for that coming back. Clint on my team, he reckons Han 2's gone. So we will see. All right, that is a perfect No Glory target. I had that happen to me quite a few times in the mirrors along the way. So, okay, unfortunately, he's going to ping that Chronic to draw a card. Oh, well, he's going to go the other way. We'll trigger again. All right, the Cobb Vanth is great because it continues to pull cards out of our deck, and it's not really a threat, like in terms of let's keep all these units. He's only got one card. Like Traitorous is good as well. Do we have a timely for the Vader? No. Do I keep Traitorous to steal one of his small units? So you believe Yoda won't suffer as much as the other Force Trader, but we will have to rethink. Yeah, for red, definitely. Red existed before. All right, let's. Do I take Vader or try? He plays lots of small units. That's why I'm. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the Traitorous. I keep bringing out something here, and then I'll just Traitorous it. Yeah, like that. Starfighter. Okay. All right. So let's just hit base here. We can Traitorous that Starfighter, and then play a Cobb Vanth out. Oh, another Cobb Vanth as well. I don't even think we need to go to 8 at this stage. I don't want to lose any of those cards if I can help it. So the Vader deck does, the Palpatine deck does draw a lot of cards. So, yeah. All right, let's. Lothwolf is great. And then another Owen is great just to potentially draw some cards. We already had no one out there. We should not have picked that. Yeah, so I think Yoda Green will make a bit of a comeback. So Paul is on one of my friends from Beskar. He's on. Let's take the Anakin here. All right, we'll hit base there. He's been on Yoda Green for a lot, and he got top 8 at the Canberra PQ. You can see his list. Not that one. It was the Canberra one. So if you go to the Canberra one here, you can see his list. Beskar Paul, this one here, he's got a really good list as well. All right, so let's bring out the Lothwolf. All right, we can Rivals the Palpatine. And then bring out the Owen here. Again, I don't want to lose any of these cards, like, and I'm not going to play these big ones just to give him ammunition. And when we're talking about ammunition, we're talking about ammunition for hitting us, the change of hearts and that. All right, so let's fell the Walker, and we can play another Cobb Vanth out as well. All right, he's going to ping one of our units. I'll just hit into his base. We'll keep healing. Yeah, so this is where it's important to know your lines into certain matchups. Like a Palp Blue will be very different because they run Vigilance and things like that. But a Palp Yellow, yeah. It's potentially not as strong here. All right, I think we could, at this stage we could just Anakin that. We want to keep our Lothwolf up as long as we can. What we would like to see is a bit of removal, like a Super Laser Blast or anything like that. He's going to be hit 10 deep and pull out a 2-drop. But he'll only be able to do it once. So All Things Fade says you like to see a double green. but only see double blue, red, or yellow, never green. A double green, what leader? Because Yoda's blue. There was an interesting double green wedge that won the garbage tournament today. That was interesting. All right, so we can take them all. And we'll trigger again, and we'll get a Night Sister Warrior. We will play out. All right, and the goal here is just to play all these little weenies against the Palpatine. So we knew he was going to run in with the Anakin. So we can trigger the ambush on Maul to kill it. He can draw a card which will kill Maul, but he's just milling himself quicker to death here. All right, we'll play the Owen out. We do need an answer. Right, we'll hit here to get our double draw. We do need an answer to something like a Devastator. So there it is there. We have a Super Laser Blast. There's the Devastator. Let's see what we get. We'll get the Vader. All right, we'll power the Devastator. The Inferno. We'll put that on top. Yeah, put them both on top. I'm going to just try and keep playing like lots of small weenies here. Not sure, maybe Padme. Yeah, so I will be playing Padme this week as well. All right, so we got a timely. We do not have a timely, which is very odd at the moment. All right, so we could Anakin to kill the Crumb and take 3 down on that the Walker. But let's push some damage first and see what he does. Because if he runs out a Contracted Hunter or something, then I'll just blast. All right, so we just take some damage here. If we put a Super Laser Tech and an Onyx out and just let him like continue to mill himself out. All right, now we're at 10. He'll hit base. I'll hit his base for 2. One thing we have to be wary of is all right, he's going to traitor us. Use base again for 2. All right, here comes Maul. Little overwhelm over the top, and now we can. Now we can Super Laser Blast. I'll keep both on top there. All right, let's blast. We'll trigger. Put the resource into play. We've now got 3. All right, we can play the Chronic out here. I still feel like we're missing a timely here. Let's kill the Crumb. All right, let's overwhelm over the top of this Hunter. All right, we'll claim. Yep. So he's drawing lots of cards doing this. And he's just putting himself closer to the mill fatigue damage. And we have not played any really big units. All we've done is just play small units out. And what did he discard? He discarded an Avenger. All right, we can put Timely in the row. We'll bring Maul out and hit over the top. Comes Vader. All right, we'll claim. So one of the signature moves that I did on the weekend, the PQ, was this next move. And that is to Timely in. Timely in a Devastator. That will take him down, or do I just... I think I just super laser here. Like, he's got 5 cards left. He's got maybe no threats left at all. So this Palp Yellow relies on you playing big cards. I'm in a 60-card deck. He's 50. If I just remove his threats, then he cannot win the game. Now, I could have timely to Devastator that last one, but he could have changed or hearted it if that was the case. We don't need to trigger again. Now, we can just timely out of Vader here. And kill both of those. And maintain our shield at the same time. Oh, well, I couldn't hit. I should have put it on the other way. I messed up there. I forgot that Aura Sing was hidden. All right, we're done. That's pretty evil. All right, well, we can just... This time we can timely out Anakin. And remove his board. He's now at 0 cards left. And he's just got those 5. Yeah. Put some damage on his base. Yeah. So I think Palpatine Yellow is a pretty easy matchup for this deck. If I was playing Yoda, that's a really hard matchup. If I'm playing this, it's a pretty easy matchup. So far we only lost to an Anakin that we played back to back. He hand-hated really hard in the first one. We couldn't recover from it. Like back-to-back pillages and force throws without card draw. We played him again, and then we were able to get the win. So let's... it's been pretty good tonight. So let's keep... I don't think we need the barrages. We want like hard removal for this deck here. All right, we'll play the Night Sister. This one relies on piloting up these units here and hitting in. So he'll tap our resource. We can play a Cobb. Wait till if he gets he has 0. Had that happen a few times, yeah. Yeah, it sneaks up on you. Okay, if he goes all space and that, like, obviously the Owen and that is better than the Spark here. But let's see. If he plays something on the ground, we'll run it into it and Spark. This time we'll hit his base for 2. All right, so he's going to go up to the space. We're able to play the Owen out as well. All right. Super Laser Blast is pretty good in this, but then also The Maul is good to get rid of the Mandalorian. But I want to have a chance of Spark of Hoping, do I? Like... Alright, let's go with that. Alright, he's going to capture who? Cobb Vanth. Alright. This is if the unit's in the discard pile. Alright, so let's just no glory that one. He'll hit for 3, we'll hit for 4 and restore 2. Legal authority as well. Okay. Well, it's going to end up as a pretty sick super laser blast. If I can ramp up on this particular turn here with the Spark of Hope. Yeah. So, okay. Let's play the Owen out. Well, Chewbacca, that's a problem. That's one thing that I was worried about. So we could potentially lose this one at this stage. Let's see if he brings the Mandalorian out. He does. We'll trigger again. And we'll also Spark of Hope. See if we can get something that can deal with this Chewbacca on the shuttle here. Yeah, another capture. We really wish we'd had that Spark of Hope, the blast out of our hand. Let's trigger again. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Yeah, him being able to get, like, if we'd had a Vader or something here, we could, yeah, a random Mando deck, exactly. Like, if I played this back, I would definitely play it a lot different. I would not have no gloried that, that unit. What can we do? We can timely in restore for 4. We'd already done it, yeah. Once, but yeah, we're in. Let's see what we get. Put on bottom, because even if we get a blast here, we can't kill the Chewbacca. Yeah. All right. That was a weird loss. A random Mando deck to beat us, and I mean, that's how it is sometimes with the Chewbacca and that as well. He played a good Spark of Hope then to pick the Super Laser Blast, and things lined up pretty well for him there. All right, Yoda Red, we are familiar with this one, so let's see how we go. All right, let's keep. We've got card draw, we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. So if we can start with Krennic and then go two drops next turn. Is a Commando good? All right, let's just spawn a whole bunch of units here. Try and draw as many cards as we can. All right, so he probably Yoda ability here. So let's hit the base for 2. And then we want to play something out so that we get the discount on Krennic. In case he does hit a Ray. Okay, he doesn't hit a Ray. Let's play the Commando then, since he's up in space. All right. We've got the Inferno, we've got Owen. Hopefully got a double draw from the Night Sister Warrior. Yeah. Okay, how can we do this here? If we think we hit in here, double trigger, take it to a 1-3, and then we can run the next two in without them dying. We'll go the Inferno. Let's put that on bottom. Super Laser Tech. Yeah, let's go with that because we've got Kranich, so we can sort of play it out for just 2. But then the Anakin is so good as well. Let's draw the Anakin because we've got Owens and that. Capture can wreck your entire day. Yeah, that last one was a rough day. All right, he passes. If he passes again, we'll just claim. We're okay with that. Oh, Spark of Hope is good as well. Get our Anakin enabled. But I don't think we can sacrifice anything else there. All right, let's just hit his base for 2. We want to trigger this Night Sister to get some, to get some stuff going for us here. He's trying to bait us in here. He's trying to bait us into killing something so that he can trigger and then throw Luke. So You're My Only Hope. He went raw You're My Only Hope off the top to do a Luke. Okay, so we'll hit into Luke to double trigger. Okay, that was interesting. All right, so we'll hit into Luke. Now, here's the thing. The Technician, if I put it in my row, I can't Anakin to kill Luke. So I'm going to put it in my discard. So now that I can Anakin kill the Luke and then push into base. He's claimed. So now I can kill the Concorde as well. So we'll put that on bottom. We'll put the Walker on top. Okay, well, the problem is we need some low-cost units because we get four Throne. We're in trouble. So we want Owen to like double trigger here. All right, so let's run in with Owen. I want to get Anakin and then trigger again. We get a Maul. So both of those are pretty good. All right, so what can we do here? We can Anakin to make Yoda -6. Have we got white and blue? No, we've only got black. Only got black. We can Maul the Yoda. Maybe that's the play. The timely. Why did you need Technician in the discard and not resources? So I needed it because I had no other black cards in my discard that would give me the -3/-3 for Anakin. That's why I put it into the row. Didn't you only need -3 for Anakin to beat Luke? Yes, but I had no villainy cards. I had other cards. I had a Desperate Commander and I had a Night Sister Warrior, but no villainy in my hand. Well, Spark of Hope is good, but our hand is like completely stacked. Right, we'll hit the Luke. We'll play the Walker and draw a card. We'll draw the Lothwolf. All right, Great Dragon. I think we're just no glory this Great Dragon. Because we could play the Avenger, but and he gets a free kill on the Reinforcement Walker. This way, he doesn't, and he's going to have to still deal with this Walker. Yeah, with the Shadow Point. Okay, so now we can play the Lothwolf. And when that dies, it's going to give our Anakins a bit more of attack. He hasn't played any Force throws yet, so we have to try and get some low cards in our hand. So that's why I'm going to keep this Timely in my hand. All right, so let's just maul over the top of the Yoda there. He's 11 cards down on us as well. At some point, he might run out of cards here. All right, a Mace is okay. All right, the Traitorous is good. So what I can do is Timely, Anakin, and kill both of these. Do we even care about the Walker's just one out as well. We can Timely the Anakin. Oh, you can only do -3 still. Okay, and I could have Timely the Avenger. Next turn. Maul. Can Traitorous the Owen. And try and get a Vader next turn as well. Yeah, I think... let's just go to Walker. Let's draw that. See what kind of removal he's got for it. Oh, I could have Timely the Walker. What am I doing? I thought I had 5 attack. That was a Timely Walker play. Alright, let's play the Inferno. We'll put the Blast on top. The Cob can go on the bottom. Yeah, I should have just... let's claim. Right, we are going to have a good Timely on an Anakin next. Yep. Yeah, it would have been much different in that last game if I had been able to... All right, I think we just blast here. If I had been able to put that on top, put that on bottom, trigger, bottom, top. If I had ambushed the Reinforcement Walker in, was the correct play. It's been a big weekend. All right, so let's just claim. All right, so we just Traitorous the Yaddle here. All right, so he Rivals Fold a Traitorous Yaddle, so that seems interesting. That would have been good to Traitorous. All right, so we've got white and black now, so we can Anakin the Yoda. So I did link the Onyx stream in the description of the video. I'm actually on stream in the top 4 matchup when I played the Kira, if you're interested. All right, let's keep that. He's starting to run out of cards. All right, we do not need to do anything. We could play a Krennic, I guess. We'll probably hit a Ray here. It's a Ray. We'll be able to maul that 3PO. Got limited heal in this deck at the moment until we hit the sideboard. Actually, let's Avenger here. He's already played a Rivals, a Shatterpoint, 2 Rivals and a Shatterpoint and a Fell. All right, so let's claim. What would be nice for us was a timely Devastator there. Would have been really good. Right, we'll put 8 on his base and take out the X-Wing. He'll probably try and draw Ray again this turn. Right now he plays an Anakin. I think we can just maul that Anakin. Did you win and get a showcase from today's matchups? Yes. So from the garbage tournament, I got obviously top ranked Vonreg player. So I was able to get the Vonreg showcase. I played Vonreg yellow. All right, he's going to force throw himself. Okay. He's going to draw more cards. Interesting. All right, so we can just timely Vader here. He'll draw up. He's down to 4 cards now. Hit his base for 7. Right, he plays a C-3PO. He'll draw the Ray, so things are starting to get close. I think we play the Owen. Why didn't you damage them all there? I don't understand. All right, Hammerhead. All right, let's claim. Get rid of Cobb. All right, we can clear the board again now. Put a timely in the row, so let's take the Vader, trigger again. I think he's down to 1 card. right, so Ray will fell that one. He's going to start taking fatigue damage here. All right, so we moved to 7-3, one more game. We lost to an Anakin, and we lost to a out of control Mando space deck that took us out. All right, so it's going to be a tough matchup against. Again, we've been talking about the bans, what's potentially coming this week, and this is potentially a deck that's going to get hit. This base potentially get hit. The problem we got is that he'll just play all space, and we have nothing to sort of interact with. Like, we're not even going to get the Snoke by the looks of it. Right, we'll claim. It'd be nice to have a power on for one of these. I'll keep the... We'll see his base for 2. I'll keep that. It's not a great matchup, this one. You need something like the double 1 start with the cartels is rough. Yeah. When I say is rough, and then he plays triple there. So sure, let's play the Inferno. All right, we'll put the Entrench on top. We'll put that on bottom. All right, well, yeah. A triple cartel. Yeah, I don't know if we can win from here. Yeah, he captures it. This is just the way it goes with space decks sometimes. Like, you don't interact with them. So, yeah, I do not think we can win this matchup from here. Like, he just comes out and just resets the hand here. Yeah, we'll take another 7 damage, so this game's over. Yeah, so this deck is a little bit weak to space, as you can see, and especially Tarkin Town space, because if you play against a Tarkin Town deck like that, you can mulligan for an Inferno or a Brute, and then try and entrench it or something like that. But because Tarkin Town is a fairly oppressive base, he can just chip into it and then remove it, and you have such a hard time competing in that space. I think Wu had a video about first turn plays and how it sort of like tilts the game, and that was probably a highlight of what's there. So would not be surprised if Tarkin Town gets banned this week in the meta update. So we'll see, because it makes it hard to compete in arenas when they have Tarkin Town. So, all right, well, that's it for tonight. We played 10 games. We went 7-3. Not a bad result. We competed where we could. Lost to 2 space decks, pretty much, and one Anakin that hand-hated us out of it. But I think the deck's decent. I think if those bans and that go into play, I think it might even get a little bit stronger in that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on Tuesday our time, Monday American time. And yeah, this week I'll also be exploring another deck that I think is quite good. This Padme Red Force. So let's play one game of this, and then I will have to go. I think this is a super fun deck, this one. Hello there. Kind of expect to lose the space. You can win it, but the Tarkin Town one in particular, it's really hard to compete up in space, and that as well. All right, so this deck here is about force generation, about getting Padme out and competing, in like drawing cards, drawing lots of Republic cards. So let's take out the Timely and the Caloran. We'll go Interceptor into Obi-Wan. Yeah, so that's fine. Let's trade. Okay, so what we can do is play Yularen. So Yularen will make our Interceptor a 2/4. We could potentially get a favorable trade against the Silencer there. All right, so let's claim. Wow, 3 Maces. So this is the Republic Padme Force. So a lot of these units have Republic. So I can play Obi-Wan out here. I can either choose to force throw, or I can choose to use Padme's ability because I have coordinate on. So 3/6 Sentinel is nothing to sort of sneeze at there. So unfortunately, we did lose our force shot there. So let's hit into base for 2. Do we trade here? I think we just hit into base and wow, I would have really liked to hit with that Obi-Wan. Hopefully we can get a card draw out of Padme when she comes. All things fair, just need to reiterate that I pretty appreciate taking time. All of your choices while playing. Yeah, that's how I learned to play was let's play Yularen back for free. I learned by watching people, specifically people playing Hearthstone, is how I become a better player myself. Now, we want to turn on coordinate here. So even though we can play Kiadi, we're not going to get a card draw, but we will get a card draw off Padme. So that's worth it. And it also enables our force throw, which will take out the Grand Inquisitor. All right, so he's going to force throw us, so we will throw out our force throw. Coordinate is on with Padme, so we can take out the Inquisitor now. Search the top 3 cards. Let's take a Artigalia, since we already have a Yularen. All right, Jedi Starfighter we'll take out. We would really like the Force. So he didn't hit our Kiadi Mundi, which is good news for us because we'll finally be able to generate the Force and take out something. All right, we'll trigger and hit for 4. Another guy from Virginia, USA was also playing the Poe leader yesterday, and he said a lot from watching me. Most of what I got was watching you. Yeah, it's that's a fun deck, that Poe deck. That is super fun. All right, so we have Protect the Pod, which is a pretty interesting card here. Because they don't expect us to have removal. All right, let's take out RD. All right, let's not in the best shape here. Hit 4 into Barris here. Even if he does kill Mace. Yeah. Liberated by darkness. Okay. We have not been able to get a foothold in this game. At all. I think it started when we couldn't get the Force early on. So play the Corvette and see what he's got from there. All right, so let's claim. We can protect the pod. What would be nice is we can protect the pod. Actually put lightsaber on Gungi. We haven't got the force though. We've really struggled to keep the force this game. He's got 6. He can take us to 25. Yeah. It would be nice to get our Yoda going as well. Like Yoda will come in and give us a heal too, which would be quite nice. All right, so let's claim. We didn't get a Yoda, but we got a lightsaber, which will give us 3 heal. Yeah, and we're dead. We're dead. That force throw, I think, got us on that one. All right, Cad Bane blue. Hopefully we can get rolling a bit better in this one. All right, so let's keep. We do have a force play, at least to start with this turn. We'll put Tranquility away and Corvette better, or I think we need a Starfighter just in case we do not have a turn 2 play. All right, we'll start with Artie. Fortunately, we don't have initiative again. Yeah, so Barris makes it cheaper, doesn't it? Use the force to make an event something cheaper. Ithkoth is good, but we're not there yet. Especially if we can't get the force. Like if he powers it, yeah, see, this is what I mean. Like, sometimes it is so difficult to get the force. Like next time we'll play Ithkoth, and it's kind of like he'll have to kill it, or we'll face a chance at ramping. And it does hurt us not having a force leader in this deck. All right, so we have to lose Kelleran again, I guess. Unfortunately, we put 2 Kellerans in the row. Hopefully, we'll try and get Yoda out. All right, so let's play. Sit for 1. Let's see what he does here. All right, so he powers, so we can play Ithkoth. All right, claim. Well, that's excellent because we might have a chance of actually generating the force here. All right, let's see what he chooses to. He probably chooses the Kiadi-Mundi, I'd say. Yeah. All right, let's deploy Padme. Unfortunately, we don't really have a lot to play here. Like we could protect the pod, I guess, to just clear the board a bit. The tactical offer is very good because there's a lot of Republics in here. Yeah, we played GM Homes. We played 10 games straight of Thrawn DV. So I just finished a PQ where I went undefeated through Swiss and the finals, and then I conceded to a teammate in the finals. So I played a 10-game match with that Thrawn list, and now I've just jumped back on Padme. So I'm just checking it out. All right, let's make sure he runs in Ithkoth here. We lost our first game to a Barris, but just playing a couple of games to see what it's like here. All right, so we've got 2 options here. I think we just mace over the top. And then we can Ithkoth into the base there. And then even Padme can draw a card. So he's got a choice here. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, I am a good teammate, put it that way. I'd already qualified, so it was to help him qualify. So Liam says, I think I might be taking something resembling control to my showdown on the weekend. I feel dirty. Yeah. Where is that showdown at, Liam? Is it, yeah, I heard there was a Newcastle one this weekend. So Tibbo, this guy here, he always sneaks down to, he's got family in Newcastle, so he always sneaks down to play your showdowns, I think. It's a bit of a running joke in our, yeah, in our team chat. It's kind of like, let's play the Artie out. That one day we'll show up and we'll just be waiting there for him. The Saber's good. I mean, Tranquility's really good as well. We don't have Yoda yet, so yeah, Archaven in Newcastle. Yeah, he has a. He does. He goes down there and sweeps you out. So that's what I've heard he does. We'll make him discard, and then we can protect the pod to kill the Snoke. Then we can keep pushing. Yeah, we'll keep that hand. All right, one more game, and we'll finish up. All right, we're back into the Cad Bane Blue. Yeah, Archaven in Newcastle. That's the one. All right, he's quit. Padme was a bit too much for him. All right, this will be a hard match. The Anakin Blue. We'll see if we can get a bit of a roll on. It's always hard to get that force token, but we've got the Gungies. So let's see how that goes. Keep the Yoda at the end. All right, let's go with that. All right, let's pass. Let's get the force. We don't need 2 Yodas. By the Interceptor. All right, we'll claim. We can clean out his Sage here. Shame we didn't have another play there to get a Padme draw. We'll take out the Kiadi-Mundi. Be nice to draw a unit here because that way we can, yeah, so we didn't, got the Spark of Hope a little bit too late there. All right, so what we can do is still deploy Padme. And protect the pod. Hit for 2. We don't want to pump it up too much. So if he drops out, yeah, he gets the Anakin unit there with the double trigger. The 6/6 should be a little bit more difficult for him to deal with the Anakin there. All right, get rid of Corvette. If I go over the top of it just gets stronger, the Anakin. You okay with that? I think so. We've got the Yoda the next turn as well. That seems pretty good. And go Yoda next turn. Are you taking Palp? Yeah, keep changing your mind. Yeah, Palp Blue. Yeah, if it's softish control, Palp Blue is a pretty good. That's annoying, having the Anakin that big. I may have to run the mace into it to start with. And then if he doesn't kill the Caloran, we can Yoda out to kill the Anakin here. Yeah, well, you saw my method of picking decks, which worked out pretty well, was play the 4 decks, and whatever had the best win record, we went with that. Now, if we can make the Caloran attack, no, we're getting Force Lightning again. Okay. Now we're getting Force Throne. All right, so I think we hit into the... Because otherwise it's going to get a free trade up if we don't hit into it. We can't play the Yoda's lightsaber because we didn't have the Force. We do have a U-wing coming out. Yeah. All right, let's just play the Tranquility then, and then we'll take a Caloran back. We could take a Yoda, actually. Why didn't I take a Yoda? All right, we'll claim. Right, entrenched. We'll play the Caloran again. We do have the Force, so we can play the Kiadi-Mundi. Right, protect the pod is good, but it's just not going to kill a Crate Dragon. All right, let's draw. We'll draw another Caloran. Right, we'll claim. If he has a crate, we're in trouble. No, he doesn't. All right, so we can play Caloran and get a fairly big discount. We can just... Let's Force Stream to start with. Another one. See if he attacks here. No, here. Let's play Caloran again. We'll get an Artie. Let's discard. We'll throw out. So I'll protect the pod, kill the Chirrut. All right, let's claim. Coming out with the Cassian. It's rough. All right, we'll have to hit the Cassian here. Go Yoda's lightsaber and trigger to restore. We've got a sentinel. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I think we're done here. I need more practice with this deck. Yeah. No, we can't get Keller in. Yeah. Doesn't matter from there. Yeah, hit the... Getting the entrenched and that on the tranquility. I should have pulled the Yoda back instead of the Keller in there. So anyway, more practice to go with that Padme deck. Yeah, I think I should have taken Yoda 100%. Yeah, on that the tranquility. Just that heal would have been good, and then the threat of like triggering again. But yeah. All right then. Well, that'll do for the stream. I'll be back later on. As I said, we played Thrawn, and you checked out the results. If you're interested in playing this deck, it is in the description of the video. It is a pretty fun deck. Just weak a little bit into space, but as you saw in the in my run and that, I kind of avoided the space decks, and I got a lot of. I mean, Boba Fett's fine, and the rest is fine. Just it's like the Vadas and the Han 4 Tarkin Town is the one you want to kind of dodge with that deck, but it is super fun deck to play, and did really well at the PQ with that one. So yeah, so I'll be practicing Padme, and like all of you, I will be waiting to see what happens this week with the meta update and seeing if what gets banned and deciding how to adjust to that. Hopefully something like blue-green heroic can make return to the meta. Anyway, it was great seeing everyone and great chatting to everyone, and I will catch you all next time. All right.